What is up, everyone? It is the Mad King Paradox S and Monkey D motherfucking Luffy. That's all I have to say is Monkey D Luffy. What the hell? For those of you who don't know, 2 weeks ago, at the very end of the latest chapter, 783, at the very end, Luffy said, Gear 4. Gear 4. We all went apeshit. And for the past 2 weeks, people have been theorizing what Gear 4 would be. People were saying it would be him blowing up his entire body. No. People would be saying it would be hockey based. No. People would be saying he would do some Bellamy Spring type shit. No. People were saying that he would look like Nightmare Luffy. No. People were saying that he would be muscle based or all of his muscles would be expanded. No. People were pointing out physics and saying things like vulcanization. No. That would be a cool idea, but no. What we got was a combination of every single last one of them, and it was fucking awesome. Woo! First off, he blows up into his arm, Gear 3 style. His fist, huge. The whole rest of his arm, just massive. And then it compresses. Well, I don't know if it really compresses, but the fist stays the same, and that huge ball of air transfers into the whole rest of his body. He is freakishly huge! And I mean freakishly huge! Monkey D has muscles for days! Gear 4th Pound Man. And he looks fucking awesome. Muscles expanded everywhere. Both arms, full armament hockey. Both legs, full armament hockey. And I love this little detail where he has like the shadow around his eyes, because that just makes it look even more badass. And he states that he had to fight freakishly huge monsters for 2 years. So he had to come up with this. And Doflamingo he's not having it. He's just like, I thought you were going to do something serious. You're a joke. Oh, Luffy is no joke. He does some Bellamy Spring type shit where he takes his arm and pretty much springs it down into his forearm, so it looks like a fucking cannon on his arm that's been inward. And so Doflamingo's just like, the fuck is this? He just put his arm back into his body. Luffy hits him. Gomo Gomo no Kongan. And Doflamingo goes from way up where they are all the way down to Midtown. Like that. Like fucking that. And Doflamingo remember last chapter when he said, you have the speed, but you lack the power to harm me? Oh, he has the power now. From the top of where they were, down to, I believe, the first level. Like that. And a building gets destroyed along the way. And people are looking at Doflamingo, they're just like, how'd you get here? He just has this serious look on his face, he's just like, I want to fucking know that myself. Oh, he's pissed. He is so pissed. And he even acknowledges he went a very long way. Then he does something that I never expected Luffy to do. He's using his elasticity to fly. I will say that again. he is using his elasticity to fly. You just see this Hulk-looking motherfucker have his arms out like this, and he does some kicks along the air. You can see the air pockets where he's pushing off of, and it looks just like the skywalk that they use in CP9 and that Sanji uses. It looks exactly like that, so I don't know if he can do that in Gear 4 now, or if that's just his own way of doing something. But then, Doflamingo's looking at him over here. Luffy fucking vanishes, all Dragon Ball Z style. Goes over here. Gomo no Rhino Schneider. And drop kicks Doflamingo in the face. You can just see the panel where Doflamingo's head's just caught like this, and all of this is just smushed in. Oh, man. Oh. I forget what he did next. Man, I'd like it if you'd load. Oh, yeah, it's not bad. Oh, yes, this little line. Doflamingo's pissed, obviously. It says, I believe it's narration, that says off in the corner, turning his own skin into armor, and now he's using elasticity to triple his damage. The freakishly strong Luffy has now tripled the damage. No. Oh, man. It's too much. And then he does the most simplest thing that he's done in Gear 4, which is called Cavalry Cannon, which is just a straight up Gummo pistol, except freakishly huge. But I don't think it stretches as far, well, in the initial time that he does it. Doflamingo dodges, uses hamstring, kicks Luffy in the side. Then it says, hold on, what was the exact line? He's still rubber, even in armament. You just see all of the midsection of Luffy armament hockey, but he's still elastic. So Doflamingo seems surprised by this, or at least he appears to be. And that's something I did not know that if Luffy was armament in his abdomen area, and he gets hit by another armament ability, I didn't know he would still flex like that. Is that because in my mind, the armament hardening, I completely forget that even hardening, he's still rubber. But that just threw me off the first time I read it. I had to read this thing like 10 times just because it was so awesome. But yeah, it's like... Then Luffy pulls out a move, and this is the end of the chapter. He pulls out this move I know was inspired by the Snake Princesses. You know it was inspired by it, because he says, after him, Python. Still using the cavalry cannon, his arms serpentines, pretty much just angles, beep, 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 and then smacks him right in the face. Whew. And then, right before Doflamingo gets hit by it, he does say something that I believe pertains to sometime in the next chapter, where he says, why won't he shrink back this time? And that's a good question to bring up, because even though this is so epic, we all know that Luffy's gears have drawbacks. Gear 4, his drawback would be he'd turn really tiny for like X amount of time. So, now his body is like this. What will be the drawback to Gear 4? My assumption, just basing this off of the fact that he does look like Nightmare Luffy, is that because he's freakishly huge exerting all this strength, all this power, all this speed, something tells me it will have the effect of, like I said, Nightmare Luffy, where at the end of it, well, for one, it can only last for a short amount of time. You know, something tells me he can't maintain this for very long. And then, after said time has passed, his body will just be completely drained. That's my assumption, though, because that's what it's looking like. Once all of this is run its course, he'll shrink back down to normal size, but his body will be so worn from the strain that he'll just be out of commission for a good while. That's my assumption, though. Just going off the fact that he looks like Nightmare Luffy. That's all I'm basing this off of. But yes, that is my reaction to fucking Gear 4. And wow. Luffy needed this bad. He was freakishly strong to begin with, but now he has to go up against Yonko. He has to go up against these powerful, powerful people in the New World. And so this, we've just gotten a taste of what this can do. So, this is a much needed power up for Luffy. There's no question about it. And so, that's all I have to say about this. I will see you all in the next bit for whatever I do. I'm still waiting towards the end of this chapter to talk about Doflamingo, because I'm the type of person that's just like, I want to talk about it during, but I know as soon as I do, some big shit's gonna happen that needs to be talked about when I can just do it all at once at the very end. That's why I didn't put in my own speculations about Gear 4, because I was just like, I want to, but I want to see what it is and just give my thoughts on it. So, that's all there is for me this time. I will see you all next bit, and this is the Mad King Paradox Says signing off.